Well, my name is George Bourke. I'm the Managing Director, CEO of Northern Minerals. We're an ASX listed company and our focus is the development of our heavy rare earth project, dysprosium focused in Kimberley region of Western Australia. Dysprosium is a really important ingredient in this electrification of the transportation industry. A lot of people talk about other key elements, but dysprosium is a real fundamental key in the permanent magnet motor. What dysprosium does, it allows the magnet to retain its charge at a higher temperature. So Northern Minerals approved the Browns Range Rare Earth project on the 18th of April this year. We let contracts and started the mining in June of 2017. We'll be running a 3-year pilot plant, so the mining will happen this year. We'll stockpile it and feed the plant in 2018 on. Key things we want to learn from the pilot plant is firstly, making sure that our understanding of the ore body is correct. It is what is in our ore reserves. We want to make sure that the flow sheet is right, so the recoveries we achieve, the concentration grades and the final product purity is correct. And then we want to prove that what we produce is saleable, and we can prove to the market that we actually receive the correct amount of money against offtake agreements. So it's really about making sure that we can demonstrate the project and therefore make it an easier financeable project when we go into full-scale operation. At Northern Minerals, we have an outstanding team. I see that team is all about being problem solvers. The project is very remote, so we have to make sure we have good logistics in place and outstanding contractors, because the ability to recover from challenges is more challenging than other places. We have a local Aboriginal community, and we really want to make sure in our full-scale operation that we really maximise local content. We want to make sure that people from Ringasoke, from the Jaru and the broader Kimberley have the biggest possible engagement. So one of the things we want to achieve in the pilot plant is making sure we put good training processes in place, that we have as many people skilled up that can take advantage of the large employment that will be available in the full-scale operation. So with rare earths are largely produced out of China. So we have what we call heavy rare earths and light rare earths. In the heavy rare earth space, that's really about dysprosium and terbium, and in the light rare earth space, that's about neodymium, praseodymium. This basket of rare earths are the magnetic rare earths. And so at the moment, all of the heavy rare earths are currently produced inside of China. So Northern Minerals will be actually producing the first dysprosium and terbium outside of China. They are so critical in going and allowing the permanent magnet to allow it to retain its charge at a higher temperature. You can imagine for a vehicle, motor vehicle companies don't want recalls. They want to make sure that they can have confidence in the product they produce to the market. So therefore, they've got to make sure these magnets operate in high temperature with other challenging magnetic fields in the motors and the engines. So dysprosium is a key element. The industry has looked at minimising how much dysprosium goes in, but they can't eliminate it. Terbium is used as a substitute, but terbium is only found roughly 1/8 of what dysprosium is. So we have a very high content of terbium, but it's really all about dysprosium. So our production forecast for the Browns Range pilot plant project is to produce 573 tonnes of contained TREO in a mixed rare earth carbonate. Within that 573 tonnes, 50 tonnes of that will be dysprosium. When we get to the full-scale operation, we'll be looking at producing approximately 300 tonnes. This is about 10 to 15% of the current known demand of rare earths, of dysprosium in particular. So it's a significant contribution, but we strongly believe that if we can demonstrate a secure supply source, demand will grow on the back of that. So we have an enormous exploration potential. We have the ability to follow an uplift in dysprosium in future demand. So we've actually finally seen in China that they're focusing on illegal mining activity. So on the supply side, China is actually clamping down on illegal mining. Now there's a couple of key different categories of illegal mining. The first one is actually that people are producing over their allowed quota. So that's classified as illegal. And secondly, it's about the cottage mining. So it's about people that are mining it, using their backyards and producing large volumes of heavy rare earths. So the Chinese government's been talking about this for a long time, and it looks like in the last 4 to 8 weeks that China's actually making inroads into this, and we're seeing a serious impact on the supply side. So Northern Minerals bringing on Browns Range couldn't be at a better time. On the demand side, we're seeing some interesting events happen. So Tesla has really been leading the charge in this whole electrification of the vehicle. But there's other policy changes that's happening that's really driving the growth in electrification. In recent weeks, we've seen the UK actually introduce by 2040 that there'll be no petrol vehicles allowed in the UK. That's going to have a huge impact on the electric vehicle. But more importantly, it's about the fact that the cost of the electric vehicle is actually going to become equal, parity or better than the combustion engine. So that means that people will be going in and looking to buy a vehicle, not on the basis of feel good, but the fact that it's going to be cheaper from a capital point of view and the operating costs will be lower. When that happens, we're going to see a total change in the percentage of electric vehicles, and that's going to put an enormous amount of pressure on the demand of rare earths.